So you have a self-taped audition. Do not be scared. This video is here to help you. Here are some details you need to know when self-taping your audition.
Now, every single audition in general, mainly self-tapes though, are going to start off with a slate. Typically, all they're going to ask is your name for sure, your agent, and maybe your age if you're under 18 years old, maybe your type, I don't know. Just follow the instructions that they give you, but usually it will just be your name, your age, and your agency, and sometimes your height, depending on if that's important or not.
Hi, I'm Bailey Roberts. I'm 15 years old. I'm 5'6", and I'm with the Blanco Agency.
Hi, my name is Kayla McGregor, and I'm 5'3".
Hi, my name is Jared Trevino. I'm 17 years old. I'm with the Blanco Agency.
Hi, I'm Isabella Brandes. I'm 10 years old, and I'm with the Blanco Agency.
Frank Delgado with the Blanco Agency. I'm 6'1".
Wardrobe. You want to wear something simple, perhaps a color that complements you well. Do not wear something super clunky or anything with big logos on it or anything. If you can, you want to have a reader behind the camera, reading the lines of your partner. That way you have lines to react to when you're doing your scene. It sounds stupid if you just leave like a huge empty space while you're doing your scene to like represent their line or something. No, it just doesn't work.
If you have an actor friend, then get them to read for you. It will really help you to actually play off as someone else that's an actor, and they'll give you everything you need. But if you don't, and you're like me, and all you have is a brother or sister or a mom and a dad, and they are trying too hard, and I mean, trust me, they're trying to help you, but they're almost always going to try to be over the top and do their lines in a way that will almost make you laugh and take you out of it. It's actually more distracting. Then just tell them to read in a monotone voice. A lot of the time, that's what you're going to get in the room. Sometimes it's what you're going to get in an in-person audition. So it's fine. It'll be less distracting to the people watching the video, and honestly, it's totally fine, as long as you can deal with that. So finding a good reader is always a plus, but if not, just get the person to read it as boringly as possible. It's your acting they want to see, not your readers behind the camera, you know? Then you're going to want to make sure you're in focus and your framing is right. So kind of what I have right here for my videos is pretty much what I use for my self-tapes. This kind of frame with this much headroom, not too much.
When you're positioning the camera and stuff, make sure you're in frame. In frame is what the camera sees. So make sure you're not cut off or anything, but also make sure that there's not like too much empty space above your head or to the side or something, because that looks a little bit awkward. Try to put your camera on a tripod or put it on something so you don't have shaky camera.
And this is different. Like right now, the video I'm doing with you, right here, I'm looking at the camera. And so when you're doing a video or an audition, like for a commercial, for example, it's probably a good idea to look at the camera, unless you're having a dialogue with somebody. If you're talking about a product or whatever, do it to the camera. But if you're self-taping and you're supposed to be doing a scene with somebody else, put that person, whoever your reader is, right behind the camera, just behind the camera. So here's the difference. If the reader, watch my eyes, okay, right now I'm looking at the camera. If you were over there, let's say, I'm going to place my reader right here. So if I'm looking at you and we're having a dialogue, I'm talking to a person. Now I'm still face forward to the camera, right? You could still see me, but I'm talking to a person. And it's not going to look the same right now because there's really no person there. But when you're actually working with a reader and you place that reader just behind the camera, the difference in the way your eyes engage with another human being is really astounding.
Now you want to place the character that you're speaking to just left or right of the camera, as Carla's doing in this scene. It gives us a clear look into your eyes. If you're speaking to multiple people in a scene, you still want to place your eye line towards the camera. You could use both sides of the camera, as long as you don't go too far left or too far right, or give your profile to the camera. We want to see your eyes clearly at all times.
Make sure the background of this video is not distracting. Just like with headshots, you want to pick a simple background to record your video in front of, so all of the attention is on you.
Now for your background, you're going to want something as neutral as possible. I just have a blue sheet hung up behind me here. That's what I use for my videos. It's what I use for my self-tapes, and that's really all you need.
Good lighting is definitely crucial also because it definitely affects the way you look in the video. You don't want to look too dark or too yellow, so you can either purchase a studio light like I have here, or you can even just open up a good window. Sounds like the most simplest of options, doesn't it? You just want to look natural and well lit.
Now this is using natural light, but obviously he has his back to the natural light, which completely casts a shadow on his face. You don't want to do that. Obviously, we cannot see your face if you're in a complete shadow.
I've got just a regular incandescent light bulb above my head. Notice how, because it's lighting from here, there's weird shadows. You can't see my eyes very well, and I'm just not lit very well. It doesn't look very professional. Here's the fun part of these. Okay, all the lights that you're going to be seeing right now that we're going to be using are these fancy babies that came from Home Depot that cost, I think they were $8 for the fixture, and the bulbs themselves are, I think they're a few bucks each. Remember, daylight balance though, so that the same light is happening here, same quality. So this is the light that I'm going to be showing you. All the lights that I have on around us are all these cheap Home Depot, $8 lights. So nothing fancy. So first, let me turn on the light that's behind me that lights up the backdrop a little bit. Okay, excellent. So that, you'll notice, is lighting up the backdrop behind me, which, because I'm wearing black here, it creates a nice little outline around me, right? Nice little accent light. In fact, if I step out of the way, you can actually see it right there. In these videos, it's always just hidden behind me, lighting up the backdrop. That's an old photographer's trick.
You might have to record at night like I do when everyone else is asleep and not making noise, or you might have to do it early in the morning, vice versa.
Now you can tape your audition using your phone. It's actually a really good camera. Now I can't tell you how many times I've received a taped audition with their phone that was used the wrong way. Please, if you're going to tape your audition, hold your phone sideways instead of vertical.
It screws into any tripod like that, and it fits to any phone. So here I have my iPhone 5S. I put it inside here, pull it up, bam. I put it onto my tripod, hit record, and there we go.
So first let's talk about what you need to have to make this audition video. Good filming equipment. You want something that has good video and good sound so they can hear you and see you, obvi. Don't use something too crappy, but also don't use something that's so high quality. I find that if I use my DSLR to record an audition video, sometimes the file will be so large that it exceeds the maximum limit when I'm trying to submit, which is not good because that means I can't submit. Something like a phone with really good video quality, or my little Canon PowerShot would do a great job because it has great quality but the file isn't going to be too large. Here's an example of the quality of this camera. Mrs. Myers, I need to go to the bathroom.
Now you don't have to spend a lot of money on your camera equipment. Walmart has a really cheap and affordable camera for 50 bucks. You can get a regular camcorder from Best Buy or something. This is $268. And you can even get a Nikon bundle, which is what I have, is what I've been taping all of the taped auditions on. And this bundle with the tripod, an extra lens, memory cards, that goes for $5.79 off Amazon. Now sometimes these cameras have a mic that works just fine, but sometimes you need an external mic. And if that's the case, there are many, many options for you to improve your sound quality. This Walmart lapel mic is $5, super cheap. And Rode mic is actually really, really good product. This is actually the mic that I used for all of my taped auditions at the studio. Now same with your lighting. You don't need to spend a lot of money on lights. Like these lights are actually $6 at Walmart. Now if you get a daylight light and not a soft light like a lamp light, it's going to do the trick when it comes to light. Or you could spend the money on a professional lighting system. This is the lighting kit that I have, and you can order it from BH Photo and Video for $157. Now when it comes to your backdrop, you can literally use a blue-gray sheet if you have one, or get a curtain from Target or Walmart. Or if you want to spend the money, then go to BH Photo and Video and buy a professional backdrop. Either one will work.
Make sure you do a quick test run of your video just to make sure everything is working. You don't want this to happen. Mrs. Myers, I need to go to the bathroom. Or this. Mrs. Myers, I need to go to the bathroom. Or this.
Now, one of the best parts about self-taped auditions is that you get so many chances. You get so many practice takes. You get so many chances at getting the best take to send off to casting to make your best impression. When you're in the room in an audition, typically you only have one shot. But one thing I do want to make sure you guys don't do is you don't do any cuts in your videos. You do the scene, record it in one take, and you cut. The only times you cut would be after a slate and then between each scene. Do not do a scene all very dramatic, like as if you're the cinematographer. Don't do an audition like, Jimmy, what did you do? Why would you do that, Jimmy? Don't do something like that. So just trust me, do not make any cuts in your videos. One take per scene, and that's it. Now that you've had your entire self-tape recorded, now it's time to do the final nitty-gritty things. You need to edit it, make just nice fade in, fade out between each scenes, do something like Sony Vegas, even Windows Movie Maker or Final Cut. Follow all the instructions that they give you. This is the most important part. If they tell you to make the file name what they tell you to, do it. Don't name it ASDV blah 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 blah, because when you send it to them, when they download it, it's going to be called that. So if they say, hey, name it this, make sure you do it. It is very, very important. It makes their lives so much easier, and you don't want your video getting chucked out because you pissed them off by naming it wrong. You have to imagine how many submissions they're getting for these roles and how much time they're spending. If they get 100 and they're 2 minutes each, you know, it's 200 minutes. Now my final suggestion to you guys is prepare. Treat this as any other audition. You still need to have your lines down perfectly. It will really help you make the best audition possible. Remember, just because you have many more takes doesn't mean that you should leave it to the last second. You want to be one of the first people to submit it. Just imagine, you're the one casting and you have to watch 100 submissions. Are you going to be happier on the 10th one, or are you going to be happier on the 100th one? Of watching the exact same scene for the exact same character over and over again. You see what I mean? It doesn't sound too pleasant. This is like any other audition. Set a time for it and do it. Do not leave it to the last second, and please do not miss it. You wouldn't miss a regular audition. Do not miss self-tapes. They are very important, and they will help you get a lot of jobs that normally you would not be able to get.